All right, hey everybody, this is Dark Side Elite here, and I said I was gonna do this, but I actually got wasn't feeling so well over the last couple of days. I've been basically just been playing video games, keep my head on straight, and try to get as much sleep as possible. So this is my interpretation, taking what I saw from Birds of Prey, and putting in some of Zack Snyder's uh format into the story, but also it's supposed to flesh out a little bit more and build this whole story into maybe the DCEU. I hope you guys enjoy. I've done a couple of these already. I haven't been doing them lately because it's a lot of time consuming and a lot of thought process. And also, I have to basically take care of my day job. But this is the one I really wanted to do because I've seen a lot of people just completely rat all over this movie. Um, and the decisions I'm going to make in here is to fix the bigger problem that this movie has, and also not to take away any of the actors and actresses in here, but to put them in positions that I feel be much better for them. Um, Mainly for Huntress and also for Black Canary, and all majorly for Cassandra Cain. Now, the decisions I make is not because I don't like the actresses at all. It's more in the fact is I feel that they're misrepresenting the characters that they're supposed to play. Now, this movie to me is more of a, in all honesty, they took what David Ayer did in Suicide Squad and went along with it. That's how I felt about this movie because of what they did with Black Mask. He felt like how the Joker was in Suicide Squad. He was very flamboyant. He was not very threatening. He felt like in some occasions it felt like Black Mask, but it didn't feel like Black Mask at all. To me, it felt like they just wanted to have absolute off the wall bonkers fun with this movie. Now, if they wanted to do that, that was the premise they wanted to do. More power to them, but it didn't. It fell flat with the fans. A lot of fans did not like it. They still love Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. They do like I like Rosie Perez as Renee Montoya. That to me fits her. This is the role I think fits her character very well. She is a Spanish Latina. I believe she's Puerto Rican, but she fits that role because Rosie Perez's career has been really ups and downs, and that's Renee Montoya's whole life. Rosie can easily bring in her past experiences into this character because they're almost exactly the same. So, but here is it, and also I will be adding in a few things in there that I feel that needs to be represented into the movie. But again, I hope you guys enjoy, and if you guys enjoy, hey, gives me a thumbs up. It really helps. It really helps me. It makes me feel like you guys really want more of this. I know that a lot of you want more Snyder Cut information. But again, I will only do that unless there's a lot of information. I don't want to keep doing video after video after video. To me, it feels like all I'm doing is just beating a dead horse. There's Chris Wong. He's always on it. Subjective Reviews is always on it. They're always on those type of things. Lantern 2814, he's in a weird spot that I personally feel, but he presents information. Like it or not, so does DC Film Hub, and also Dave the Film Junkie. These guys are always on it, and they have the time to do it. Me personally, I don't want to be doing videos after video after video. I want to be able to slowly build my channel, and I want to be able to um, get better technology so I give you guys better presentation. I want to get my boy Hawk a cam, so maybe we can be able to link the videos together, find a way to be able to do that, and so you guys can be able to hear us as we're talking and everything. So let's get into this. Now, this is my version of Birds of Prey. This is supposed to take place, I would say, a year after Suicide Squad, and there's a reasoning why. So this is supposed to take place a year after Suicide Squad, and also in conjunction of what James Gunn is doing with his Suicide Squad. This is supposed to take place in the middle of that. So Harley is on her own now, and now she's gonna get picked up again by the Suicide Squad. So we're gonna see. So you guys are gonna get a good understanding about what everything's gonna set up. All right. So let's get into it. Sorry, I still have a cough. All right. So this is about a year after Suicide Squad. Basically, the world has just been immersed in the new Justice League. Superman is still flying around doing his normal things. Batman is is in Gotham, but there's something going on and he's not in Gotham. You don't know why. Wonder Woman is doing her thing. Everybody's doing their own personal things. Harley is walking down the alleyway. She's beaten up, literally, legitimately beaten up. You see her, you see welts on her, you see her lip bleeding, you see a black eye, and you see her shivering because it's raining. And you can see her hand just shaking really, really bad. She's getting angrier and angrier. And you see her getting sad and crying, and you hear the Joker's laugh, emanating from her mind. And and then you see a scene of her getting her butt handed to her. He's beating her halfway to death, mainly because Harley, when she was part of the Suicide Squad, she revealed something about Joker's plan that he said, "Why the heck did you even say nothing?" Because he wanted nobody to know this. And she reveals about what the Joker's gigantic plan was. And you don't know what it is. So, um, the way I would put Jared Leto's Joker is he's all about now gaining power. He now knows that there's a Superman out there, so now he has to up his game. He's kind of moving away from the Batman, and here's the thing: I understand. I know how you guys are gonna feel like, oh my God, what the heck are you doing? Listen, I understand, but there's something about this. There's a nuance. You got to understand. Joker's looking at the bigger picture. He now knows that there's now a group out there that's together, and they're gonna be a super team. He's not going to deal with this. He wants to make sure that he's the top dog. He heard about Lex's whole gigantic plan, and he thought that Lex was thinking small peanuts. Joker was trying to do something bigger. And I did my version of the Suicide Squad. I think I did a version of the Suicide Squad the way I would have done it. However, I don't think I did it, so I might do that just so you guys get some reference here. So, Harley goes to Roman Sionis' bar, and she is untouchable. And everybody's like, and she's sitting there telling you as an internal monologue that none of them are gonna touch Harley because she hasn't revealed, or no one has revealed, that she broke up with the Joker. And everybody wants her head. There's a couple of guys that just want to bang her because she's a hot piece of butt. That's pretty much what it is. But others just want to kill her because everything she's ever done with the Joker. So you got Roman Sionis. Roman Sionis has the mask on all the time throughout the movie. And I know how you feel about that. Wait a minute, is it going to be Ewan McGregor? It is Ewan McGregor. You hear his voice. You can see his eyes. He doesn't. He refuses to take the mask off. There's a reasoning why. He feels empowered by the mask. So what happens is that Roman Sionis is barely in. He's in the movie. He's in the movie. The only thing is he doesn't interact with any of the women. He sends off his minions to do it. Now, Victor Zsasz is a sadistic killer that basically gets into Roman Sionis' bar and does a few odd jobs for him so he could stay protected. That's the only reason why he's in that bar. Roman Sionis is trying to vie for power since there's a power vacuum. He's wondering where the hell is the Joker at? And why the heck is Harley not with him? He's trying to piece it together. No one is saying anything. And anybody who tries to go and ask Joker anything, they don't come back. Joker kills him and dumps him in acid or whatever. He doesn't know. He doesn't know what happened to his men. And they try to go to talk to Harley, and Harley puts a knife in their face. So it's like, wow, she's not saying anything. No one is saying anything because if Harley says she broke up with the Joker, she's dead. She'll have a bullseye on her back, and she doesn't want it. Now you get introduced to Renee Montoya. Her whole story is near perfect. I would stick with it. She's there to try to figure out what is going on here because there is no Joker. Batman's not in town, and she's wondering where Batman at. They're all wondering where Batman is at. You're wondering where Batman's at. Harley wondering where Batman's at. Everybody's wondering where the F is Batman. And the thing is that you're getting subtle clues that Batman got information that forced him to leave Gotham. He's out of Gotham, and you don't know why. And Harley's sitting there going, she doesn't care. If the Bats isn't coming after her, she's perfectly okay. Now, you get a rash of murders going on throughout all of the East End and in Diamond City. And I'm sorry, the Diamond District. And Renee is picking up this file because she's wondering who this murderer is. And she's like, okay, maybe it's Roman Sionis. She's thinking it's Roman Sionis trying to vie for power. But but the murders are too personal. Roman, it won't do anything like that. He doesn't have any he doesn't have any personal animosity towards these people. He just wants to vie for power. Um, but the other guys are going, no, it's Roman Sionis. She's going, no, it's not Roman Sionis. It's somebody else, because this person's using arrows, but the arrows are not there. They're like, okay, but that could be done by a bullet. She goes, but where's the exit hole? She's analyzing the scene to tell you, like, wait a minute, there's no exit hole. If there was a bullet, it'd be flying all the way through. And she was showing you the trajectory where everything is at. She's analyzing the scene very, very well. But the captain is like, who the heck cares? We got a freaking murderer, and it's freaking Roman Sionis. Let's go after him. She's like, if we go after him and prove that there is nothing there, we can't get him on anything else. We have to leave him alone. And they're like, we don't care. Go pick him up. She's like, oh boy. So then, in the bar, you get Harley, and you get this beautiful voice, and you turn and you meet Black Canary. Now, Black Canary is a white lady. She's in her early to mid 40s. She's dressed in a beautiful dress, but she looks like she's drinking. You could tell she looks like she's drinking, but she's singing very beautifully. And even Harley's sitting there going, wow. Like, she's gorgeous. Like, even Harley's sitting there getting, a little, like, wow. And all the guys are like, hey, and women are like, whoa. Like, and she's singing her heart out. And then you come to find, and she says her name is Songbird, but you know that's Black Canary. You know it's the Black Canary. So, the only reason why no one knows she's the Black Canary is she never told anybody. And also, she looks way different than she does when she was younger. So, she gained a little bit more weight. She's not pudgy. She just gained a little bit more weight. And her face looks a little bit more aged. So it's like, okay, and she changed her hair color. Her hair color is now brunette. She doesn't have her blonde hair. And that's mainly because she doesn't want anybody to know she's still in Gotham. Because again, if they know that they got Black Canary in a gangster bar, she's dead. They would kill her. And you don't know why she's there. She looks like she's drinking herself into oblivion. Guys are picking up on her, and she looks at one guy, goes, okay, and she goes in the back end. They do their business. They do their business. She's basically just banging dudes. She doesn't give a crap. And so to move the story forward, now you're getting the Huntress, and the Huntress is dead on like the Punisher. You make her just like the effing Punisher. So hold on one second. Okay, so sorry about that. If I pause, it means that if I say hold on a second, that means I have to cough. So we're getting we're getting the Huntress, and you're getting her as the Punisher. She's the Punisher. She comes in, she basically tells them something and puts some arrows in them. She's killing all these mafiosos in Gotham City. You don't know why, except unless you know the story of Helena Bertinelli. But she kills them all, and the last person she needs to kill is legitimately the Joker. She needs to kill the Joker. And you're wondering, what the heck? What does the Joker have to do with anything? Because the Joker was the crime lord of all of Gotham. He ordered the death of the Bertinelli family. That's her whole story. The Joker ordered her death. When it wasn't the Joker didn't do it. It was never the Joker. And you come to find out that even Harley says, no, the Joker did nothing. Wait a minute, how long ago was that? Nope, the Joker didn't do that. And you're like, what? What do you mean he didn't do it? He goes, he didn't do it. This was how long ago? She goes, well, it was about 15 years ago. He goes, Phil, 15 years ago? No, the Joker didn't do it. That was never the Joker. He told me everything. He never did it. So when she meets up with Harley tells her, nope, Joker didn't do it. She goes, no, he did do it. He goes, nope, he didn't do it. He never ordered it. If he's going to order something, he'll be there to be there. So did you see him? He goes, no. Then he didn't order it. And even Renee Montoya goes, yeah, if he wanted someone dead that personal, he would be there to watch it. And it kind of throws her whole thing out the window. Because she's been tracking down all these guys and killing them and thinking that it was all Joker's men, but it was never Joker's men. Joker didn't do it. The Joker just didn't give two craps that anybody throws on his name. Hey, you killed the Bertinelli family. Okay. Did I have a beef with them? I think so. Okay, then they're dead? Okay, great. I don't care. That's the Joker. He doesn't care. So So Harley says to Huntress, and this again, I'm trying to niche all their stories together, and that kind of settles it. So she's sitting there going, "My God, what the heck did I do?" So her whole story got almost completely wrapped up towards the end because she now has to find out who's the guy or person who ordered the hit on her family, who wiped out her whole family. And it's going to be a very, very dark storyline because it's almost like the Punisher, and the way I want to do that twist is going to be a lot more wow to it. So now you get to Black Canary. Her whole thing is that she's been a crime fighter in Gotham City for close to 5 years, but she's been a traveling crime fighter between Gotham City, Star City, and Bloodhaven because she's originally from Bloodhaven, and you have her where she had a love affair with Oliver Queen. She it's a name drop. She because Renee throws out a phrase that really turns her aback and gets her mad. He calls her Pretty Bird. And because Renee knows that she's the Black Canary. She knows she's the Black Canary. So you have a pretty broken hero here who basically was run out of Star City not because she did something. It's more the fact is that Oliver cheated on her. Oliver cheated on her years ago and now has a child, but he never said nothing about it. And he's been taking care of the child. And he wanted to marry Black Canary. So she's like, "Wait a minute, why did you tell me about this woman?" He goes, "Well, I didn't think it was a big problem. I mean, I'm not with her, I'm with you." And it kind of, it's kind of like that. Well, yeah, if he's with you, don't worry about it very much. I mean, it sucks, but at least go with him. But it became more complicated because he actually did cheat on her he cheated on her when he was still with her. And he thought, and he said he was upset. You were upset. I mean, it was one night. I'm sorry, it didn't have, and it just kind of perpetuated into something bigger and bigger and bigger. And then when she went to Gotham, because she tagged up with Batman for a little bit when they were crime fighting. And the way I established in the Batman that this Batman is the first crime fighter. He was the first crime fighter. He started the crime fighter wave. So it was him, then it was Green Arrow, and then it was the Black Canary. They were the three originals. If you really think about it, they're the original Trinity to crime fighters. But overall heroes, it's always going to be Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, always. So so she went to Bruce, and she told Bruce what was going on, and it really, really, really made it worse. It really made it worse because Batman just lost he just lost um he just lost his he just lost his Robin. So he's not in the right mindset right now. He wants to go after the Joker. Okay. Sorry about that. I had to read something on my email. It was very important. Okay, so then her character tried to talk to Bruce like, "Hey, wait a minute, I want to be able to do something about this." And Batman's sitting there going, "I don't want nothing to do with this. I gotta find the Joker." So he goes after the Joker, and she starts taking on all these villains. It gets to the point where right before Batman's about to do his business against the Joker, he finally finds him and Harley. She kind of gets involved because she was chasing down another criminal, and he and her have it out. They fight on a rooftop, and Batman completely obliterates her. He gets her the hell out of his way, and he tells her that if you don't get out of my way, I will ruin you, Dinah. I will reveal who you are to the world. And you're like, what the heck? He goes, go back to Oliver, go do whatever you need. Just do whatever you need. Just stay out of my city. And she's like, and she's looking at him like, you would ruin my career. He goes, I will do what is necessary to save my city. The only reason why you're here is because you're heartbroken because of Oliver. Go figure it out in Star City, but just stay out of mine. And he leaves. He says, and she's broken because her and Bruce have been friends for a long time, and he respects the hell out of her. He's just now not in the right mindset. So she starts drinking a little bit, and she starts to de-evolve herself into drinking. Now, again, this is just a flesh. This is not like there's more deep-seated stuff. There's way more deep-seated stuff with her. And the fact is, she's a tomboy. And the only reason why she was a tomboy is because she never felt beautiful. She never felt pretty. And the only person that really made her feel beautiful or pretty was Oliver. And for him to cheat on her, it really sent her down a spiral because she has self-reflectional issues. And that should be presented right there for everybody to understand. You have a broken woman in Harley because all she ever wanted to do is be loved by somebody. You have Helena that's confused because her whole destiny was the fact of that it was this guy that it was the Joker that killed her family, but it really wasn't. It was somebody else, and now she doesn't. Now she went off and killed all these people, thinking it was Joker's men, but it wasn't Joker's men. It wasn't Joker's men, and she doesn't know who's the person that killed him because she thought it was the Joker. And you have Black Canary that has self-reflectional issues, self-conscious issues about herself, her beauty, and the fact is that she's been drinking herself and whoring herself out to everybody left and right because she doesn't care. She feels like if nobody's going to care about her, then she shouldn't care, and she just devolved herself. And that's how I write the Birds of Prey. They're broken. And then on top of that, I would introduce Barbara Gordon. Barbara is the main reason why they get together. And the reason why they get together is because Barbara acknowledges the fact that this city needs someone other than Batman. Batman is messed up, and they need somebody. They need a group. So you got Barbara set up this whole thing to basically get Harley, like go after Harley, and she calls Black Canary into the mix. And Black Canary is very hesitant about doing anything. She's like, no, I don't want nothing to do with it. If Batman finds out, and Barbara says, and she literally says Bruce, and she doesn't say it in front of anybody else. She says it in front of Dinah, and makes it realize. And Dinah's like, whoa, 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 whoa. She goes, and also this version of Barbara is in the wheelchair, and I would say it's because of the Joker. It's because of the Joker, and she sets up Dinah to say, hey, listen, I understand how you feel. Bruce was wrong in saying that. You don't realize there's a lot more going on here. But if Batman leaves to go do Justice League business, there needs to be something in this city to take care of the crime element. I need somebody that understands the criminal element. I need somebody to help me. And she goes, who the heck are you? And then she shows her in her insignia, and it dawns on Dinah that this is Barbara Gordon was Batgirl. She was the original Batgirl. And she goes, yeah, I was, until the Joker found out. And you're like, what? And she says, my father's been hunting down the Joker this whole time too. And you're like, what the heck? So basically, the Joker is a marked man in Gotham. Gordon wants him. And you also got to realize that her paralyzation is one of the main reasons why Bruce went after Jason went after the Joker. So that's one of the big things, because her and Jason were starting to finally click as a team. Even though she had a huge love affair with Dick Grayson, her and Jason always butted heads. But then when they finally when she started to understand him and he understood her, then they started to become friends. And all of a sudden she gets her spine shot out. It pisses freaking Jason off. He goes after the Joker, gets himself killed, which it's a big gigantic thing. Like I said, this is supposed to take place so you understand where Batman's head is at. Now, I would have never introduced Cassandra Cain. Never. I would introduce Cassandra Cain in the last portions of the movie. And you're wondering who this young girl is because she's now dressed in this bat suit. And even freaking Barbara's sitting there going, who the heck is that? And then she basically throws this batarang right at Barbara, and it goes right into the wall, and Barbara takes it out of the wall and looks at it, and it gives notes. And they see her look up, and the girl's gone. And that's Cassandra Cain. She says, my name is Cassandra Cain, and I'm here because Batman ordered me to. What? So now you got Cassandra Cain. The young girl that I would introduce in this movie, it's Holly Robinson. And if anybody knows who Holly Robinson is, Holly Robinson was the second Catwoman. She was the Catwoman while Selina was, I believe she quit being Catwoman for a little bit in the 80s. And and then Holly took up the mantle as the new Catwoman. But she was more of a burglar than a cat burglar. So she was a pretty damn good thief, but not as great as Selina. Selina had a very, very particular ability to be able to break in and get out of there. and Holly did not. But in this one, but in this one, she is a little bit more. She's a much better thief, and she has a damn good hand. Um, she's able to pickpocket the best of anybody. She knows how to do the hand and eye, so she could do that stuff very easily. And and Harley and Holly become really good friends because of it. But Harley keeps asking her, "Why are you in Gotham?" And she says to her, she's looking for an old friend of hers, and she's like, "Yeah, her name is Selena." And then Harley's like, "Wait a minute, that sounds kind of familiar." And the rest of us are gonna go, "She's looking for Selena Kyle? Why?" And then she kind of says that she's real old friends with Selena, like her and Selena come from the same orphanage, and Selena's always been looking at her back, but then for some reason Selena disappeared, and she's been looking for her ever since. So that's the whole thing. That's her whole thing. Now, what Roman Sionis is looking for is he's looking for this diamond. It's the same thing, a diamond. But this diamond isn't what you think that it is. It's a military grade diamond. This diamond, if you flick off any of its shards, it could be used in it's a high powerful gunpowder. So basically, a small little flakes has the same level of gunpowder as a tank. So you're like, what the heck? So this diamond is huge. It's a huge diamond. It's a diamond about the size of let's say the Big Show's fist. So if you guys know wrestling, go look up Paul White, the Big Show. Look at his hand size. His hand is about the size of a man's face. Turn that into a fist. That's the size of that diamond. And basically, Harley's like, she's drooling over this diamond, like she wants to sell it, but she knows she can't sell it because every pawnter looks at it and goes, "This thing is fake because it's not real. It looks artificial." And she goes, "Well, how much can I get for it?" She wonders how much she can get for it. Holly's sitting there going, "No." She kind of looks at it and goes, "There's something more about this diamond because Holly stole it from Roman Sionis." And when she said that out loud, Harley went, "What?" The guy went, "What? Hell no. Hell no. Get the heck out." He pulled out a shotgun and put it in their face. They're like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa." And they leave. He's like, "Get the hell out of here." Boom, blows the freaking door off the hinges. And he calls Roman immediately and says, "Roman Sion, Mr. Black Mask, Harley Quinn came into my mind," and he reveals it. And they're like, "What? Go find her now." So about 3/4 of the movie, you have this big scene where Black Canary is finally in her suit with Huntress, and they are there to look for Harley Quinn at the behest of Barbara Gordon. The whole story gets taken care of. Like I said, it links up with Harley's story because Barbara knows about that diamond. She's like, "Oh my God, we gotta get that diamond away from Harley now," and she reveals that the flakes off of that diamond is high powerful gunpowder. It hits about the same level as a tank. They're like, "What?" And Harley has it. He goes, "Yeah, but she doesn't know what she has. Harley is Harley." And they're like, "Yeah." So Renee Montoya, her story finally comes to a head because she's now trying to figure out who the murderer is, and she finds out that it's Helena Bertinelli. She knows it's Helena Bertinelli. It makes no sense. She pieces it all together. Then you have Harley and Holly's story converging with the Birds of Prey with Barbara's group, and she calls them the Oracles, and it kind of didn't sit right with them. So she basically at the very end she calls them. Harley says, "You know what? You're a canary. You're a huntress, which is like a hawk and a bird. And how about you guys just call yourselves the Birds of Prey?" And they're going, "Hey, I kind of like that." And Barbara's like, "No, I kind of like Oracle." And she goes, "No, we're not going with that. You got someone in your ear." And he goes, "Yeah, Batgirl." They're like, "Batgirl? Oh boy." And she goes, "You revealed who I was to them, did you?" She goes, "Why? They don't know where you're at." She goes, okay, here's the diamond." She gives him the diamond and goes, "I don't want nothing to do any more bats. See ya." And she runs off. And then Harley's sitting there going, "Hey, does she know where Selena is?" And then that's when Barbara goes, "Hey, wait a minute. She knows about Selena Kyle, Catwoman? No, I don't know where she's at." He goes, "No, she doesn't know where she's at." Damn. And she goes, "Hey, wait up, Harley!" And she runs off to go find Harley. Harley is already halfway. She's already half a block. She's running. And then Renee's like, "You guys just let her go, right?" And they're all, "She's harmless." Black Canary says, "She's harmless." They're like, "She's harmless? It's Harley Quinn. You know that, right?" She goes, "She's gonna run right back to the Joker." She goes, "I don't think so. I think this was all about her being emancipated from that freak. I don't think she's gonna go back to him." She goes, "Are you absolutely sure about it?" And she goes, "Yeah, I'm absolutely sure about that." So she goes, "We got it. Let's just take Black Mask and go back." The moment they go back, Black Mask is gone, and his mask is laid there because his mask got almost ripped off by it almost got blown off because of them using the diamond. Because Harley used the flakes and put it inside of her gun, and just went and held it tight and went boom, and she flew backwards, and it just took off like almost half of Black Mask's mask. And when he went back, you see his face for the first time, and then basically he says that he knows that those women are talking to someone. Backtrace that signal. He goes, "Well, how are we gonna do that?" He goes, "Well, I know that Oswald had some technology, so we got to go find it." So they went to the Iceberg Lounge while it was depreciated, it was destroyed because of the war against Batman, and he went in there and found old RF tech. So he grabbed the RF tech, and they used that technology to trace where the person that told them is. And that's when Oracle was like, "Hey, wait a minute, they found me. You got to get over here." And they're like, he goes, I can only scramble it for so long. I could put him someplace else. Get over here." And they're like, and that's when Harley gets back into the mix, and they have this huge battle inside of the watchtower, the clock tower, of course. I'm sorry, not the watchtower, the clock tower. And when they battle each other, and when they do all this battle, you see Black Mask coming in, and he's holding his two Desert Eagles, and he's going, and they're like, "What the?" It's just all wacky. And then his men come in, all of his masked men. He calls in the Fukalong Triads. He calls in the freaking Yakuza. He doesn't care. He made deals with all of them. He says, "We need to get rid of them, and then we can prepare for the Bat, and then we'll kill the Bat, and this city will be ours." And they're like, "But I know that the person who's helping them is a friend of the Bat, so we need to kill her instead." But he starts piecing together that this is Batgirl. This had to be Batgirl. So they go after and that's what incites them. They're like, "Yeah, let's do this." So they go after her. They go after them, and there's this big gigantic battle inside of the clock tower. Huntress kills a lot of dudes, and then for the first time, you see Black Canary tell them, "All right, girls, get out of the room." And she cracks her knuckles. You're going, okay, and then Renee says, "Oh boy, Dinah." There was a Dinah. Take it easy on them. And then that's when Harley goes, "Hey, wait a minute. You're Dinah Laurel Lance?" She goes, "Yeah." And she covers her ears immediately, and she's like, you see her kind of snicker and goes, "Won't take so long." And you see the reverberations coming into her mouth, and she goes, and then Black Mask goes, "No." Run! And she goes, and she just does her sonic scream, and it destroys a lot of crap. And Hunter's like, "Oh my god!" And she goes, "Ah!" She's just screaming all over the place. It just destroys everything. They're all jumping out of the way, and then she falls to her knees. She goes, "Haven't done that in a long time." Then one guy jumps down from the sky, and he gets himself into this martial art pose. She goes, and then Huntress goes, "I got this." She goes, "No, no, no." And she pops her neck, goes, "I got this." And you're like, "Oh, here we go." And she takes all this, she kicks the daylights out of him, dude. She destroys this dude. And she starts taking out all these guys. And you kind of get this Batman vibe from her, because she's hitting for the fences, she's uppercutting, she's grabbing dudes, smashing them to the wall. And she tells them, "Come on, let's go." And they're like, "Okay." So Huntress and them follow her into the hole, and they take her on, and they take on the rest of the guys. Black Mask is sitting there going, "How the hell am I losing? How is this possible?" And then Holly is already out of the room, and she basically flakes. She use the flakes and puts it inside of Black Mask's car, and runs off. And Black Mask goes, "All right, get me the hell out of here." And then when the car starts going, and he gets out of the car immediately and runs and boom, the car blows up and he flies back, he flies forward, lands hard on the ground, gets up, and his mask is still ripped apart. He takes off his mask. He stands up. You see a portion of his face is all messed up, and you're like, wow. He goes, I'm done with this. And then he says, all right, girls, let's see if you can bleed. And he starts just laying into him with bullets. Then Black Canary just screams and knocks him back, makes him fly into a pole. He hits a pole and he gets up, and then that's when he gets hit by two arrows, right? I mean, literally right in his chest. Not to kill him, but in almost vital spots, and it makes him fly backward and just land really hard to the ground. And they're all, I didn't kill him, and they're like, good. Like, and then Renee comes in and goes, all right, girls, let me get this collar. And they're like, they back off. And then she goes, Roman Sionis, you're arrested for this, and this. And she goes, okay, girl. And then they're gone. And she goes, okay, I'm not Gordon. Like, she literally says, I am not Gordon. I'll find out where the hell they went. And you have to pick him up and he goes to jail. Then you see on the first page news of the Gotham Gazette, Batman, the Guardian of Gotham. I'm sorry, new Guardians of Gotham. That's pretty much what it is. The new Guardians of Gotham. And then you you have this huge speech and everything, and then that's when Holly tells Harley that it's time for her to move on. She needs to find Selena. This, and this. So Harley says, well, how about I join you for a little bit? And she smiles a little bit, and she kind of gives her this grin like, hey, we're good friends. Let's just hang out. Harley's like, sure, why not? So they leave, and then you have Dinah and Huntress and talking to Barbara, and sorry about that. They're talking to Barbara, and Barbara reveals that she knows where Batman's at. And she goes, where is he? She goes, he's in Iraq. And they're like, why is he in Iraq? And he goes, there's only one reason he's over there. And then that's when Dinah goes, oh. And she goes, yeah. And then Hunter's like, care to share with the class? And he goes, Ra's al Ghul. You're like, what? He goes, he's looking for Ra's. But why would he go look for Ra's? And she kind of, Barbara kind of shrugs. She's like, I don't know. So, then, as they're like, okay, so they get up and they're about to go, and then they decide to go patrolling. The moment they get downstairs, they see 3 coffins. 3 containers. I'm sorry, 3 containers, not coffins. It looks like coffins, but they're containers. And it has Black Canary symbol, it has the Huntress' symbol, and it has Barbara's symbol. And Barbara's like, he knows. And they're like, she walks over and presses the button and it says, DNA confirms. Dinah, Laurel, Lance. And then Huntress kind of touches it and goes, DNA confirms. Helena, Bertinelli. They're like, what? And it opens up and it's their new suits. And then you get a phone call and she goes, yeah, Bruce. And he goes, okay. And you have a button and it's Ben Affleck. And he goes, I heard you girls are trying to protect my city. Thank you. And he goes, and Laurel, I'm sorry for what I said to you all those years ago. You do matter. And you see her kind of get a little emotional, go, but first, go see him. Confront him. And when you're ready, the city will be waiting for you. And that's it. And she goes, and she turns around and you see her grab the suit and look at it. It looks almost like her Injustice suit. It's black with a little bit of yellow trim, her mask, and also her necklace, because she never wore her necklace throughout the whole movie. And her necklace is supposed to help reduce her powers a little bit for her to be more controlled. And she knows this. It's a neck brace. It's a little necklace, and it has her insignia on it. And he's like, you're like, wow. So she puts it on, and she goes, oh wow, I feel in more control now. They're like, what? Like, and then that's when Batgirl goes, yeah, without that thing, she can actually blow the half this city apart. You're like, what the hell? So Black Canary says, I gotta go. They're like, and Barbara kind of goes, we know. And Hunter's like, what do you mean we know? I don't know anything right now. Where are you going? We're the birds of prey. And she goes, I need to confront him. I need him to know I do matter. And she walks off, and you're like, what the hell? So she gets on her motorcycle, puts on her helmet, and you see her drive out of Gotham, and it says Star City, 400 miles away. You're like, whoa, she's headed to Star City. She's heading to Star City. Then you have Harley driving out of Gotham, and she's having and she no not driving out of Gotham. She's driving out of the East End, and she's going to the Upper East End, the Upper East End area, and she's driving through there, and she's sitting there smiling, going, she's finally free. And then out of nowhere, boom, her car flips over. She goes, what the? And she grabs her hyena jumps out. She grabs Holly and jumps out and helps her and tumbles out. The car flips out on the ground, and then see her going, "What the hell?" And then that's when you hear the music of the Suicide Squad, and she goes, and then I know we hear click, and she goes, "Huh?" It goes, and then you hear Rick Flag go, "Sorry, Harleen, you're being reinducted back into the Suicide Squad." And then you're like, oh, she goes, "Oh, come on." And then they go, "Let's go." And she goes, "But I'm a good guy." And they goes, "Nope." And they grab her. And she goes, "Oh, Holly, I'll get out of this, okay? We'll hang out soon and this and that." And then he goes, "If you survive the mission." Wait a minute, I'm gonna die? No, 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 Mr. J. She starts screaming for Mr. They're all, he ain't helping you. Like, and you're like, wow, dude. She goes, oh, like she doesn't want to die. That sucks. And then she gets in the car, and that's how she gets captured by the Suicide Squad. And then you see Holly just standing up there, and then out of nowhere, whip. She goes, huh? What? And she gets pulled into the shadows, and you're like, wow. And you hear the Catwoman music, and you're like, what the hell? And she goes, perfect. And you're like, what the hell? And you're like, what the hell is this going on? So then you get the credit scene, and the credit scene, it shows what was going on. Like, it shows her going. It shows Harley. I'm not Harley. It shows Laurel going to Star City, and she's walking, and you see it more in a animation, not an animation. It's drawn. It's in drawn stature. So you see her just walking into Star City. I mean, driving to Star City. You see her walking into Queen Consolidated, and then that's it. Then you see Huntress jumping from rooftop to rooftop, and you see her running over and taking out bad guys, while you see also Oracle all over the computer screens, organizing everything and keeping an eye on Gotham. And then you see Harley just sitting in chains, and she's sitting there sad, look like the sad clown from uh um oh my god, the sad clown from the opera. She looks very sad, like she knows A, she's gonna die, and B, what the hell. She thought she got away. And then you get Holly hanging upside down, and you see Catwoman just rubbing her forehead, and you see her just going, like she's scared to death. Like she's like, what the hell is going on here? And then you get an animation. You see Batman walking into this temple, and you get Ben Affleck. He's walking into a temple, and he's dressed in almost like Indiana Jones level gear. And he's walking in, and you see these ninjas coming out of the blue, and they see him, they back up, and they kneel, and they kneel and they bow, and he walks forward. You're like, what the hell? And you see, and as he's walking in, he walks into this gigantic temple, and then you see Sin kneeling in front of this green liquid, which is the Lazarus pit. It's bubbly and everything. Looks like lava. It has steam coming off it and everything. And he goes, and you hear, I was always wondering when you will come back to me, detective. And you're like, wow. You see Batman going, you see Bruce going, yeah, Raish, you and I need to talk. and you see him go, I know, I know, and you're like, what the hell's going on? This is the point where Bruce went went to Ra's al Ghul and asked about who the heck is that guy who's been killing people in Gotham City. Now, again, like I said, there's been a rash of murders throughout all of Gotham City, but there's also been more murders inside of the East End, and it's been hundreds. But there's been a rash of murders all throughout Gotham City. Like I said, I try to take that back, but it's more, yeah. This is Ben's story. This is where Ben's story about the Red Hood comes in, and you're like, okay, this is great. So now you're getting the explanation about what the hell's been going on with Batman. Now, the small things. A, everybody's wondering, where the hell's the Penguin? Where is Two-Face? Well, in a few scenes when they talk about the power vacuum, they talk about Oswald. She goes, "Yeah, Oswald's is in Blackgate for life. He's not getting out." You know, okay, what about Two-Face? He goes, "Yeah, Two-Face is in Arkham, not getting out." You know, like, what about Edward Nigma? Oh, you mean Eddie? Uh, Eddie's comatose. What? What do you mean by comatose? Well, he kind of messed with Mr. J, and they're like, oh boy. So you're like, what the hell? So that's why you don't get them. They are all either incarcerated, infirmaried, or incapacitated. So it's like, what the hell? A lot of these bigger crime bosses, they're nowhere in Gotham right now because of the Joker or Batman. But now there's going to be even more because Black Mask is now taken care of. So there's going to be even more stuff going on in Gotham that the Birds of Prey can handle. Also, Batman is trying to figure out what the hell's going on in Gotham also. And now you're going to understand why Black Mask was getting so much more confidence because he was getting help by the Red Hood. So there's a lot of things going on, and that won't be talked about in the next Birds of Prey movie because it's supposed to go almost in conjunction with Ben Affleck's The Red Hood saga story, which I did before. And you get more of the credits and everything, and then the final edited scene that I'm sorry, the final post credit scene that you get, it shows Batgirl. It shows Oracle sitting in her chair, and she kind of turns her head to the side and turns around, and there's Cassandra with her mask off, and she's looking at her, and you see her do some sign language, and she goes, "No, Bruce is not here." He goes, and she does some more sign language, and she signs like, "Hey, there's something else going on." And she goes, "What do you mean? What's going on?" She goes, "I think my mother is coming." And she goes, "Your mother?" She nods, and she goes, "Who's your mom?" And she's about to open her mouth, and it goes black, and you're like, what? So now the next Birds of Prey movie is going to be about Lady Shiva's coming. Lady Shiva's coming. She wants her daughter back, and she's gonna go through anybody to get it. And Black Canary and Huntress and Batgirl has to take care of this because Bruce is not going to get himself involved with Lady Shiva unless he's really involved. But he has to find out what the hell's going on with this other crime boss that's going on in Gotham. So that's how I'll do the story. There's little nuances I will put in there, but I don't want to get into the very, very small detail. There's a good, decent synopsis of a story. Basically, I would not. I would change. I would make. I would do this. I would introduce Jurlee Smollett-Bell as Vixen. She should have been in the movie, and I would actually introduce Vixen. She's a young hero, and that's one of the first things we get introduced to. She's a young hero, and she gets herself involved in all this too. Now, I would add her in, but her story is very minor. But she's gonna be part of the Birds of Prey. She's the third member. Um, Black Canary should be a white blonde girl with blue eyes, very beautiful, but she should be in her early to mid 40s. She should be an older hero. You should have the Huntress as an Italian American. She's stone cold hard, but also very, very beautiful to herself. But she's hard. She's hard. She looks like she can legitimately kick the crap out of you. And I think that would work very well. I would not introduce Cassandra Cain until way later. I would introduce Holly Robinson, and Holly Robinson should be blonde haired, that'd be or brunette. That'd be perfectly fine either way. But and Harley should be Harley, and I still say Rosie Perez as Renee Montoya is perfect. I think that she's perfect as that character. She could bring in a lot of her past demons into this character and really showcase that the stuff that she went through when she was in Hollywood and what did she have to do for it. Um, and bring that into the character. But the way they had these actresses in their role, it didn't fit. It really didn't fit. It felt really weird. And I don't think that that was a Margot Robbie thing because she's the producer. She has no say over what goes on in the movie. It's the director. This is Cathy Yan's decisions. And also we got to look at the script too. So a lot of the script and dialogue that was Christina Hodson. So the decisions that were made in the movie is not going to be Margot Robbie. And also whatever they pitch to the audience and everything, that's not Margot Robbie's either. She can say yes or no to it, but that's not her decision to make. And she's only caring about trying to make money for her production studio because she wants to make more movies. So I don't care if anybody tries to dump all over Margot Robbie. I think it's wrong. I don't think that she has any level of the pull that you think that she has. Because if that's the case, then in your logic, we should all blame Deborah Snyder. We should blame Deborah Snyder for the Snyder cut. I mean, for the Justice League. It's not Jeff John's fault. It's not Diane Nelson's fault. It's not. So if your logic is gonna throw everything on Margot Robbie because of how they produced this movie, then yours should be all over Deborah Snyder because her production studio with her husband is the one that did the production of this movie. So your logic is flawed. She only can say yes or no to certain things, but she also has to realize that she has to obey to the fact that let the director have their own say. She's heard of all the crap that happened with Snyder. She's not gonna come in and try to force her own decisions and the things. So I have a huge feeling this was all Cathy Yan. If you look at Cathy Yan's filmography, she does woman power wacky movies like this. She does movies like this. So this was up her wheelhouse. But that's not the movie we should have gotten. We should have got a very broken set of women, and they all come together over the fact that two of them want to be heroes, but they're not. But they don't feel like heroes. Not this whole circumstantial nonsense that we have that it just happened this way. Oh, it just happened this way. Oh, it just happened this way. To me, it just means that if you put too much circumstance into things, it ruins to me, it just ruins more and more and more of what the characters really represent. Because Black Canary should not be a broken woman. She should be a tomboy, but also there should be some level of humanity with her. Because the way I wrote her, she's not broken. She just doesn't know where she's at. She doesn't know mentally where she's at. She feels that her being a tomboy, her trying to be like more like a guy, she doesn't go by what people think she's a dyke or anything like that. No, it's not like she likes women. No, it's just more the fact is she's a rough and tumble girl, very beautiful, but she's rough and tumble. And and she has fun with that. She loves that. And that's what made Oliver attracted to her. But she was drop dead gorgeous. She's not butt ugly. And I don't like how they put tattoos and they gave her so many piercings. It's just like, what the heck is going on with her? And then Huntress, she feels like she doesn't have any social cues. It's like, what the heck is going on? That makes no sense. You should have made her like the Punisher. You should have made her just like the Punisher. She actually acts like the Punisher. She doesn't care. She will put arrows into anybody that was in her way. You're a bad guy, you gotta go. And then you have Rosie, who's perfect as Renee Montoya. But I don't know anything about the Ella J. Basco's character. She says that she's Cassandra Cain, but she's not Cassandra Cain. Because Cassandra Cain is not a pickpocket. Cassandra Cain is a martial arts prodigy. She's a destroyer. And they didn't do that. They just wanted to make this a silly, fun movie, but it made no sense to the characters. They gave absolutely no basis to any of the characters. So that's why I wanted to do this. That's exactly the reason why I wanted to do this, because I personally felt that that the way Cathy Yan did Birds of Prey, the fabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn. Yes, it's a Harley Quinn movie, and these women were subsidiaries in the movie, but she didn't build anything. She honestly did not build the whole universe right. You should have told us where all the rest of these criminals are at. You should have shown to us there was more going on in Gotham than just what's going on with Roman Sionis. You should have made more with Black Canary. You should have made more with Huntress. Her character is pretty basic. You should have made her like the Punisher. Silent killer. Doesn't talk. She goes, yeah. All right, let's do it. Stuff like that. Just simple lines. It has nothing to do with the fact is that I don't want Mary Elizabeth Winstead to say anything. It's more the fact is that's the way the character was. And then making her goofy, it takes away all of her credibility as a proficient badass. And then the fighting sequences were good, but the final battlefront, like I said in my review video, in the funhouse was a laughing stock. The battle sequence that Harley had inside of the police department was phenomenal. That was the best I've ever seen her. That's Harley Quinn. She is unpredictable. She knows how to fight. She beats the crap out of you, and you don't know where it's coming from. She's very unorthodox in her fighting. But the way they did it in the final pretense of the final portion of the movie, Black Canary is a badass. You try to establish that. But it was very lopsided to see her fight the way she did. Same goes for the Huntress. But you didn't see her in a one-on-one set of sequences. You saw her just throw out crossbow bolts. That's it. So I would have made these women more of a badass. Like, they literally are no joke. These women are no joke. And you messed up Cassandra Cain. You should have introduced Holly Robinson. And Cassandra Cain should have been coming in at the very end of the movie to give you an understanding that Batman got another bat character in the city. Or this one just decided to put on its own suit and be in this city. You can do whatever you want with that. So like I said, this movie was not bad. It wasn't like absolutely terrible. It just felt like it was above average. It felt like a simple popcorn flick movie. And I feel that this movie should have been not a popcorn film movie. This should have been a very emotional levels of storytelling and deep rootedness to build the Batman universe, to get us hyped for any more Batman. But they didn't do that. They kept it so centered and so inward towards itself that there was no growth anywhere. No growth. And then they killed off Victor Zsasz. I never would have done it. And they killed off I'm sorry, spoilers. I'm sorry, big spoilers. Yeah, they killed off Victor Zsasz, and they killed off Black Mask. Blew him to pieces. What? Then, so that's how forgettable they were. They didn't matter. They only mattered to the story. But this is what I've always said, and I still stick behind this. This was Cathy Yan's decisions. These were the decisions that Cathy Yan made when she sat down with Christina Hodson to do this script. She wanted to make Black Mask stupid and kill him. Who cares? They did the stereotypical thing. You killed off a villain without saying, hey, you know what? Let's keep this villain around and let's build off this villain. But he was no threat. He was truly no threat to those women. Who cares? So that was one of the dropping points for the movie for me. They killed off the villain. And I've said it before and I say it again. It is a Christina Hodson and it's a Cathy Yan decision. They took a risk. They said, hey, you know what? Let's just kill him off. Who cares? But for the story surfaces, you lost a very predominant Batman level villain. You got rid of him, which made no sense. So we have to see. All right, I don't want to make this too long, but like, comment, share, subscribe down below, hit that bell. What did you guys think? If you like my interpretation, like how I did it, great. Thank you for joining me. But if you didn't, move on. I really don't want negativity here. I just want good level of talking and dialogue. If you guys want to tell me that, oh yeah, well, Birds of Prey sucks, move on, please. That doesn't help me with anything. That doesn't help the conversation. That's just a statement. That doesn't build a conversation. That's a statement. So let's build a conversation. Let's build the conversation. I know that you think it sucks, and everybody says it sucks, but present something that makes the conversation flow, please. Because just saying it sucks doesn't present anything. It just says that's a statement. That just says you believe it sucks. And I don't want any more conversations about the box office. The reason why, I mean, the box office tells right there it's a bomb. It sucks. So what? So what? That doesn't mean anything. Case in point, Thor Ragnarok, the worst telling of the Ragnarok story, made over $1 billion. So what? So what? That doesn't mean anything. Tell me the box office does not determine how much it sucks. Not anymore. And I know that you think it sucks, but what would you do to change it? What would you do to add to it? And also, don't take away Cathy Yan's base of the story, her blueprint. I took her blueprint and moved and built off of that blueprint. I kept her bar. I kept the bar. I kept Rosie Perez. I kept Harley Quinn. I kept the characters. I would have made Ms. Mary Elizabeth Winstead more as Barbara Gordon than Huntress. She fits more as a Huntress. I mean, she fits more as as Barbara Gordon in my personal opinion. She fits better as Barbara Gordon. She does not fit as the Huntress. She doesn't look Italian at all. And the thing what they did with Black Canary makes absolutely no sense to her character. Black Canary, when people are being mistreated, she doesn't cry. She gets angry. She hates injustice like that. She hates women being used as a plot point. She hates that. And what you presented there is the same exact thing. You presented a Black Canary that's going to cry because a woman's being mistreated. No, Black Canary will get angry. She would be seething with rage. Hence why I say that instead of a young Black Canary, you should have introduced us to an older Black Canary. Someone that's been around, that has a lot of experience. That would grow that team a lot better. And you have Barbara Gordon, you have Black Canary, then you have the Huntress, and then you have Vixen. 4 ladies that can actually be very, very powerful together. And 2 of them are metahumans. So that's what I would do. Please, let's just have a great conversation. Do not just come on here and make a statement that it sucks. If you do, I'm just not going to respond to it. You can have it up there, but I'm not going to respond to it. I won't respond to it. I would rather have a good, decent conversation and talk about what we would change. I mean, heck, some ideas might not work either, but present me something. I say, hey, you know what? Could you just introduce this person and we could have moved? I say, yeah, you know what? That would have been a great idea too. But that's starting a conversation. Please don't start off with statements. Don't tell me that it sucks. That's a statement. That's not a conversation builder. That's like me walking up to you going, hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? The sky's blue. Yeah, it's blue. That's not a conversation starter. That is not a conversation starter. And don't think that you could come in and say, hey, do you think that Birds of Prey sucks? I'll be like, I thought it was okay. I'm not gonna say the word sucks. Thor Ragnarok sucks. That sucks. That had nothing to do with Ragnarok at all. But Birds of Prey could be done in a lot of versional ways. This one could have been one, but it just didn't hit with anybody. It just didn't hit with a lot of people. It's gonna make a lot of. It's not gonna make a lot of money, but it's gonna make at least its budget back and its production budget. It's gonna break even. It's going to break even. So let's just hope that WB and Walter Hamada will listen and say, hey, listen, there's certain characters that you can go dark with, and there's certain things you can go light, fun-hearted with. And Birds of Prey is not fun, light-hearted story. It isn't. It's a pretty dark level story because these women deal with a lot of things. They deal with the hard belly of the underworld that Batman doesn't get to. So to have it where you have Black Canary, the Huntress, and Harley Quinn as the only defense, and then you make two of them silly and one of them weak, and I mean literally one of them is weak, personality wise weak, makes absolutely no sense. That's why I said you need to have an older superhero here. It actually would have worked because having them in a almost broken way. It again, I stated before that Black Canary is not a broken person. However, in this story, she has to be broken for her to be rise herself back up to becoming the Black Canary again, and we can see her at her absolute best. Huntress, not many people know. Harley Quinn, she's always been a tragic character. Always. She's a tragic anti-hero character. That's her niche. But this movie was basically a Deadpool on crack. It was meant to be silly and funny and stupid. And it didn't work, especially as a rated R. You can't do that many rated R comedies. It doesn't work that well. And especially since the characters are very, very lopsided. And that's what they did. So I'm hoping that Cathy Yan learns from this and literally stops pandering and just tells a very solid story. And this story was not solid. But like I said, like, comment, share, subscribe down below. Hit that bell, please. I'll make even more videos. Hey, let's start the conversation. Let's talk about it. Let's see what's going on. But please, 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 please do not start with statements. I will ignore it or I will just remove it. Let's start good conversations. Let's build I want to build this channel. I don't want it to be one of those forgetful channels. I know I'm not doing a lot of videos. That's mainly because, again, I have a full-time job. I have to take care of that, or I don't have a roof over my head, okay? But I will do a little bit more stuff. You will hear about me about the Snyder Cut. I'm hearing a little bit of rumbles, but not a lot for me to make a huge video out of it. So I hope you guys enjoy. You guys have a great one. Bye.